Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. Kakashi sighed as he eyed the sleeping blonde that occupied his bed. Now where am I supposed to sleep? He muttered to himself as he approached the bed. Sitting at the edge, his eye traveled over his student, her eyes still red and puffy and cheeks flushed, as she slept peacefully. Kakashi guessed it was better than having her crying and getting the rain all over his place. Shaking his head, Kakashi pulled up the blanket over the blonde and left the room. "Ma, that's right, it's raining," he commented as the rain hitting his apartment gave off a lull of safety. Making himself a cup of coffee, Kakashi sat down on his couch with a small groan. His body was getting to him, constant missions with no breaks. That was his doing. Kakashi took a sip of coffee before picking up the piece of paper that was glaring at him off the coffee table. Registration of marriage. Kakashi took a deep breath, already seeing that Naruto had signed the paper. Her messy scrawl was printed on semi-wet paper. He shook his head at her recklessness. Had she lost the paper before coming over to his, any shinobi could sign their names down and claimed Naruto as their wife. Silly girl. Taking another sip of coffee, Kakashi reminisced on how it was easier to get married as shinobi than as civilians. Shinobi didn't need 2 witnesses or an ordained minister. Just the 2 shinobi in question and the signature of the Hokage. The Hokage. Kakashi thought and felt his head throb. Naruto wouldn't have run to him without discussing such a big move with the Hokage. Senju Tsunade practically doted on the Uzumaki, threatening anyone that dared to look at her lustfully or show interest. All in all, Kakashi thought back on how he received such an unromantic marriage proposal. A couple of hours earlier, Kakashi was enjoying his book, the heavy rain adding to his relaxation. Nothing could disturb his wonderful afternoon. He even had shortbread cookies on a plate and a hot cup of coffee to keep him company. It was perfect. Knock knock knock. Yes. Nothing could disturb Kakashi. This was his time to unwind and relax. Knock knock knock. A perfect afternoon to hymns. Knock knock knock. Kakashi-sensei, I know you're in there. Open up. Kakashi sighed, snapping his book shut as the banging got louder. Well, there goes my perfect afternoon. Getting up, Kakashi hurried over to the door before his loudmouth student broke it down and pulled it open. Ma. Kakashi paused, his face indifferent as a soaking wet Naruto stood outside his apartment. He bit the inside of his cheek when he saw a drool of snot hang from her nose as she visibly shivered. Achoo! Kakashi narrowed his eyes at the blonde. She looked like a wet kitten. A miserable wet kitten. Just as he was about to open his mouth, she looked up at him with watery eyes and a trembling lip. Kakashi-sensei. Naruto's voice broke as she shoved a piece of paper into his chest and bowed 90 degrees. Please marry me, Kakashi-sensei. Kakashi's mind froze. He looked down at the piece of paper and unfurled it from Naruto's hands. Naruto looked up at the silver-haired man as fat tears fell from her eyes. Please marry me, sensei. I see can't do this. Naruto reached out, clinging to Kakashi's flak jacket and cried. Naruto. Kakashi looked around and saw his neighbors opening their doors and glaring daggers at him. Let's go inside and talk, nay. He felt her nod into his chest and shuffled them both inside. Just wait here for a second. He muttered, tossing the paper to the table and rushing to his bathroom to grab a towel. Returning to the sniffling blonde, he saw that she took off her shoes and was standing in a growing puddle. Throwing the towel over her head, Kakashi led her to his bathroom and left her standing in the middle of the tiled room as he rushed to his room to find some dry clothes. He had a nagging feeling that the Hokage would castrate him if Naruto got sick, not that she did, and he wanted the Hokage as far away as possible from his manhood. Grabbing a shirt and pants that looked like they would fit Naruto, he moved back to the bathroom and held back a squawk as he saw her soaked clothes on the floor, just missing her body as her bare leg moved behind the shower curtain. She's not in her right mind, Kakashi. Of course, she wouldn't notice the bathroom open. No sane woman would undress in front of their sensei. Kakashi quickly thought and placed the clean clothes on the toilet seat, thankful that his shower curtain was black, and picked up her soaking clothes to wash and dry. Kakashi made sure to close the door this time. Taking a minute to himself, Kakashi tried to gather his thoughts as his student showered in his bathroom. He glared at the piece of paper on his table, sitting innocently next to his plate of cookies, willing it to burn. He rubbed his face when it didn't and picked it up. His eyes scanned the paper once more and narrowed in on the dotted lines. It was a marriage registration form and it was already signed by the woman in his shower and the woman that led the village. What the hell was going on? Kakashi opted to interrogate Naruto once she was done. That was the only way he'd get answers, or to storm the Hokage Tower and put up with Tsunade's words. No, dealing with Naruto would give him fewer headaches. The blonde Hokage would twist words around until he got frustrated and left. His ears perked up when he heard the shower stop. Sipping on his now lukewarm coffee, Kakashi felt a wave of nervousness hit him. He had just realized, I was proposed to. His eye widened a fraction. Shouldn't he be freaking out more? He was used to women throwing themselves at him for dates, but marriage was a whole other level. His head snapped up at the bathroom door open, and following the steam came Naruto. He could see that she was still upset, but not as much as before. Her eyes were swollen as she had a towel wrapped around her shoulders to dry her long hair. It was odd seeing his student wearing his clothes. She didn't fit them at all, or perhaps she looked awkward wearing such dark colors. Naruto, Kakashi called out to the blonde and gestured to the spot beside him. I think we need to talk. Naruto nodded meekly and shuffled past Kakashi to take a seat. She kept her eyes to her lap, unable to look over at her sensei. Kakashi withheld his sigh, not wanting the teen to start crying again. Naruto, tell me what happened. What's brought up this need to get married? Naruto's hands shook and looked up to Kakashi. Her eyes hid nothing from him as she showed him fear. They want me to marry. Kakashi swallowed thickly at her emotions. The fear was prominent, but there was also anger and hopelessness. Yes, well, I got that from your very unromantic and loud proposal. He said dryly, yet Naruto was able to crack a small smile. I'm guessing by your frantic proposal that, whoever they are, don't want you to marry me. Sorry, she mumbled, the council. They want me to marry. Okay. Kakashi slid over his plate of cookies. We're getting somewhere. Naruto took the offered cookie and nibbled on it gently. To Sasuke. They want me to marry Sasuke. Kakashi was shocked and then he was furious. He's still a missing nin. His voice held a sharp edge to it as his student nodded meekly. Why? Kakashi mentally patted his own back at not hissing like a wild cat. The Uchiha was a sore topic for his team. The whole damn village knew that. Jinchuriki. Naruto replied, resting a hand on her toned middle where the seal laid, because I'm a Jinchuriki. The Shodai Hokage created a law that made Jinchuriki marry before the age of 18. Ba-chan explained that he hoped it would help Jinchuriki from falling into madness, but I'm not mad, Kakashi-sensei, I'm still sane. She looked at him with tears starting to pool again. I have 3 months left, Kakashi-sensei, before I'm 18 and have to marry Sasuke. They said they pardoned all his crimes and will let him come back now that Itachi's gone. It's like they're giving me to him as some sort of prize for returning to Konoha. He's in Konoha? Kakashi questioned Naruto with her shaking her head. Not yet. He'll be back in a month and he's agreed. I can't marry him, sensei, and the council threatened to revoke my citizenship if I don't get married. I'll have to leave the village and my home, sensei, I don't want to leave. She cried. Ba-chan can't do anything cause it was Shodai-sama's law. This is my home. How come he can leave and come back, just like that? I don't want him. Kakashi patted her head in comfort. You're not going to leave the village, Naruto. Though why did you come to me? There are plenty of others that would happily help you and marry you. Why, there's Shikamaru or even Kiba. Naruto shook her head furiously. No. I can't marry them. I told Ba-chan too. It has to be you. You were my first choice when Ba-chan found the loophole. Please, I can't marry him, sensei. I know I'm asking for a lot and I'm really bad at cooking, but I can do chores and help pay for things, and I don't know if I'll be any good. You're rambling, he said softly as the blonde hiccuped. He was touched that he was her first choice, but it was also worrying. Naruto, you and Sasuke were always close. Why don't you want to go ahead with this arrangement? He saw her shiver as her eyes glazed over like she was reliving a memory. Fear. He saw fear. You're scared of him, he said as the blonde flinched. You never told any of us. How could I? Naruto whispered harshly before shaking her head. You didn't see the way he looked at me when we fought at the Valley of the End. It was like some starved monster was looking at me. He didn't see me as a friend, I know it, he saw me as a possession he wanted. He shoved a chidori through my chest. Kakashi-sensei, how can I forgive somebody like that? How can I even think to be with such a cruel man? Kakashi was stunned by Naruto's true thoughts, however, he couldn't rebut her either. When he carried her wounded body back to the village, he wanted nothing more than to rip Sasuke's head off his body. Though one look at his third student kept him from hunting the little shit down. Kakashi let out a bland laugh. Sakura. We both concealed our true intentions for her sake. Naruto looked at Kakashi with confusion. What do you mean? I wanted to kill Sasuke for what he did to you. Using a jutsu I created to harm the ones he was meant to protect. Kakashi shook his head. One look at Sakura and I knew I couldn't do it. Naruto smiled sadly. Yeah. Sighing, she added, I don't know what to do, Kakashi-sensei. No matter what I do, it's not enough for those old bags of shit. I know I'm not much, but I do hope that you consider marrying me. Kakashi shuffled, and if I don't, then I'll say my goodbyes and leave the village. I'll find somewhere Sasuke won't find me. I don't want you to feel pressured. I know screaming at you to marry me wasn't the best way to go about it. Kakashi rolled his eye and Naruto laughed lightly, but my second option is to leave. Ba-chan threatened to chain me to her side, but I know that she'll let me go. You'll be giving up your dream, Kakashi pointed out. Naruto leaned her head on the couch, her eyes feeling heavy. I know, but I'd rather be free than live the rest of my life in fear. I don't want him, Kakashi-sensei, I never will. It has to be you. If we get married, I'll be faithful to you, I won't look at anyone else and give my all to you. Jinchuriki get to choose their partners once and we become loyal to them, willing to do whatever it takes to make them happy. Naruto closed her eyes, exhaustion taking over her body. I know you won't take advantage of me, sensei, I trust you. Kakashi felt his heart clench. Her confession was honest and true, he saw why she came to him. Those her age weren't mature enough. They were still bound by urges and emotions. I need some time, he muttered, it was a big decision. For both of them. He heard her hum before soft snores came from the blonde. Kakashi released a tired breath. He would talk more with the blonde in the morning. For now, Kakashi gently picked her up in his arms and noticed how light she was. He squeezed her leg, she seemed so fragile and small. Shaking his head, Kakashi carried her to his room and tucked her under his blanket. He needed to think or make a list. Present. Kakashi finished his cup of coffee before leaving his apartment. He needed to speak to the Hokage and get more information. More answers. Kakashi made sure to knock on the window before entering the Hokage's office, spotting the numerous bottles of sake that surrounded the Hokage. Hokage-sama, he muttered as he took a seat before her desk. He waited patiently as she chugged the bottle back. This was a serious topic for the Hokage to swallow up her good stash. Tsunade slammed the bottle onto her desk, shattering it. How is she? She asked. Asleep, he replied slowly as the Hokage looked at him. She looked tired. Naruto explained the gist of it, but I'd like to hear from you, Hokage-sama. Tsunade snorted as she rubbed her temples. The brat is dead set on you. I'm just trying to see what's so appealing about you, besides your face. She gave a tight smile as Kakashi shuffled uncomfortably. I don't know what the Kyubi sees in you either, but there must be something that even the Nine Tails prefers you over anyone else in this village. Hokage-sama, Kakashi questioned. Naruto hadn't told him that. Tsunade waved her hand dismissively. I see that brat didn't explain how Jinchuriki choose their partners. The host and Biju must be in agreement to have a successful bond with their partner. Naruto and the Kyubi would rather burn Sasuke than let him touch her. From my understanding, you are the only male in this village that the Kyubi dislikes the least, and my brat is as straight as a log. Otherwise, I would suggest she marry Hinata. It was the same with the previous Jinchuriki. Kakashi felt uncomfortable with the conversation and cleared his throat. I see. The choice is Naruto's. She chose you and the Kyubi simply didn't hate you as much to decline. Tsunade pointed out, making sure to hit Kakashi's head that it was the blonde's choice. I don't want her to leave, but I also don't want to push my shinobi into a corner. Kakashi nodded. Tsunade always tried her best to have her shinobi's best interest in mind. Why Naruto? Besides the law, Tsunade clenched her fists. That bastard Uchiha requested it himself. She tossed the scroll over to Kakashi to read. I would have burned the scroll if those old sacks of shits hadn't intercepted the scroll. There's some delusion in his mind that no matter what he does to Naruto that she will be okay with it. That she is the perfect breeding partner to restore the Uchiha clan. Mixing her Uzumaki reserves with the Uchiha Sharingan. Kakashi felt anger as he read over Sasuke's words. It was insane. Did Naruto tell you that she's afraid of him? Of course I knew. Tsunade bristled, her desk crying under the pressure of her fist. Jiraiya and I knew. We both knew and agreed to get her out of the village to heal and grow. Honestly, the shit Naruto goes through to appease Sakura. Although smart, Sakura is still a dense moron. Kakashi rolled up the scroll and placed it as gently as he could on the straining desk. Do you know where Naruto will go? Tsunade shook her head. She refused to tell me. I doubt even Jiraiya will know where she'll go off to. She has connections all over the world, and being trained by Jiraiya, it would be child's play for her to disappear. The village will feel her absence. Kakashi nodded. He knew that too. The village wouldn't feel as bright and welcoming. The trade business was doing well because of the blonde. She drew everybody and anybody in. Kakashi, Tsunade said softly but was firm as she held his gaze, don't feel pressured. Whatever decision you make, the outcome will never be your fault. Naruto is a grown woman and knows the consequences. It's also a big decision for you and the future of the Hatake clan. Should you go through with this, you will need to tell Naruto about your clan and, you will have the full support of the Hokage. Kakashi hesitated before placing the form on her desk. I've already signed the paper. Tsunade was shocked. She expected at least a week for Hatake to make a decision. Already, she picked up the paper and clearly saw Kakashi's signature just above Naruto's signature. It had been done. When? Before I got here. Kakashi cleared his throat. I already made my decision when she proposed to me. I will talk with her more when she wakes up. Tsunade frowned. Why did you come here, Kakashi? Kakashi shrugged. Reassurance, I believe. The blonde Hokage sighed. All right then. I hope you really know what you're doing, Kakashi. Let me know when you want to have the ceremony done. I would like to be present during the bonding ceremony. Kakashi nodded. He would be foolish to deny Tsunade the opportunity to see Naruto being married. I suppose Jiraiya-sama would like to see as well. 100%, brat. Jiraiya materialized beside Tsunade, not startling either of them as he had been listening in the shadows. Besides, it's not every day you get to see the Hatake ceremony. Or the bonding of a Jinchuriki, Tsunade muttered, reminiscing on the previous Jinchuriki bonding ceremony. It was a beautiful spectacle. Normally, I would give you time to prepare, but with Sasuke returning in a month or less, I want to get this done as soon as possible. That dipshit could turn up tomorrow for all I know. Kakashi nodded, his mind going numb. Jiraiya moved over to Kakashi and patted his shoulder. Don't worry, Kakashi, I'll help set up with you. Tsunade, you help get Naruto ready. We'll do it in the morning. Tsunade nodded and filed away the registration form. Although married by law, they still needed to do the clan rites. It was a Hitaki tradition. Tsunade glared coldly at Kakashi, making the man tense. You two may be married now, but I swear by all that is holy that I will destroy you should you hurt her. Is that clear? Kakashi didn't trust his voice and nodded. Tsunade, Jiraiya said, displeased. He's a good kid. He patted Kakashi's shoulder and said, go home and rest. It'll be a busy day when the sun is up. Send Naruto to the Hokage Tower when she wakes up. Kakashi nodded and left the room as quickly as he could. He could only think of the consequences that would come, but he knew he would do what he could to protect Naruto, just as she would do the same. Her vow to be his and only his stirred an emotion deep within him that he tried to bury. It was so reassuring and firm, unwavering, and Kakashi wanted that. He wanted stability. Making it back home, Kakashi cleaned up the living area before pulling the couch out into a bed. He was exhausted and could only think how dead tired Naruto was. As soon as his head hit the pillow, Kakashi was knocked out. Morning. Kakashi felt his nose twitch before bolting upright, causing a scream and a loud thump. Naruto? Kakashi questioned as the blonde was on the floor rubbing her backside. What were you doing? Naruto blushed. I was trying to wake you up without you lashing out, you know. Kakashi sighed and rubbed his tired face. We need to talk. Talk? But we already did. Naruto tilted her head as she stood. I hope you don't mind, but I went through your kitchen and made breakfast. It's the only meal I know how to cook without burning anything. She admitted. Kakashi nodded and climbed out of bed as the blonde shuffled to the dining table and waited for him. The silver-haired man looked at the grilled fish, soup, fried eggs, and rice. It looked edible. It looks good, he commented and sat down as Naruto pushed a cup of coffee towards him. He waited until Naruto started to eat before dropping, I signed the paper. Naruto almost dropped her chopsticks as she looked wide-eyed at Kakashi. The man appeared as calm and aloof as ever. Already? Are you sure? You're the one who came to me crying to get married, he joked lightly, making her laugh and look away in embarrassment. He took the opportunity to scoff down the food before she could look back. I'm sure. I'll marry you, Naruto, but there will be a few rules, I suppose. I want this to be a real marriage, Naruto, as real as a normal marriage goes. You're to call me Kakashi, no more sensei, from now on. Just like you, I swear to be faithful and give you all my devotion. I'm sure in time, when you're ready, we'll have. Naruto choked on her fish. And consummate our marriage. There are also a few things I need to explain to you about my clan. We're loyal to our bones and will do whatever it takes to protect our family. I will protect you and our children, should it happen. Kakashi explained as Naruto kept getting red by the second. There is something you should know about my clan. We bind our souls to who we wish to spend the rest of our lives. I will not be able to devote myself to anyone else but you, only have children with you, only be satisfied with you. Even if, by some chance, you leave me, I will hunt you down and keep you beside me. By marrying me, this is what you'll get. I hope that's not going to scare you off, he said seriously. Naruto shook her head, unable to look at Kakashi as her body heated up, and no, it doesn't. It might sound weird, but it's reassuring. I never expected to get married, you know, or think about having children. I always thought nobody would want to be with a demon or put up with my selfishness. She glanced at her sensei. No, her husband. I'm not the best, but I'll do my best, Kakashi-sen. Kakashi. Kakashi's shoulders slumped in relief. You were never a demon, Naruto. He stood from his chair and said, you're to meet with Hokage-sama in her office as soon as you're done. We'll be having a traditional Hitaki ceremony to complete the marriage. I will bind myself to you and be yours. Naruto was in awe of Kakashi. I'll see you soon then. Kakashi nodded and patted Naruto's head. Yes, we can talk more after the ceremony. It'll just be us, Hokage-sama and Jiraiya-sama. I'll see you soon, he promised before disappearing into a cloud of smoke. Naruto sunk into her chair as soon as he left. It felt like a dream to her. She was married to Kakashi of all people. Shaking her head, Naruto ate the rest of her breakfast and quickly did the dishes. Her hands shook, her nerves getting the best of her. I want this, she said firmly to herself. She wanted this marriage despite how it came about. Naruto knew deep in her heart that Kakashi wouldn't harm her as Sasuke did. Naruto changed back into her clean and dry jumpsuit before making her way straight to Tsunade's office. Ba-chan, Naruto said hesitantly as she entered the dark office. The windows were blacked out as Tsunade faced away from her. Tsunade turned and gave Naruto a reassuring smile. Let's do this, Yaki, she said and pulled the girl into her office and sealed the room off. There's a bathroom behind that bookshelf. Go and get showered and I'll help you get ready and explain what will happen. Naruto nodded, already knowing where the bathroom was, and quickly had a shower. She came back into the office just wearing a towel as Tsunade ushered her into a chair and quickly went to work on her hair. Although Naruto couldn't see Tsunade, she could feel the soft hum of her chakra. Is it normal to be nervous? Tsunade chuckled, having finished drying her hair and started curling it. Yes, but don't you dare get cold feet on me now. You're officially a married woman now. She saw Naruto's ears turn red. The Hatake ceremony is very different from a normal marriage ceremony. Kakashi and you will be met with the guardian of the Hatake clan. Get their blessing before they bind you two together. It's a beautiful ceremony. I've only witnessed it once with Kakashi's father. Naruto nodded. Who's the guardian? You'll find out when you see them. It's better to experience it in person than me telling you. Tsunade started twisting Naruto's blonde strands into a half updo. Her hair slowly formed into a golden waterfall. I'm just warning you now, that there will be an exchange of blood. It will be what ties Kakashi to you. Gross but okay. Naruto said honestly. You know, Kakashi said something that got me thinking. He said something like he won't be able to have children with anyone else but me. Is that why there is only Kakashi left? Because they can't have children with anyone else. Tsunade finished Naruto's hair and moved before the girl. Yes, but their loyalty is unquestioned. She tilted Naruto's head up and started to apply as little makeup as possible on the girl. She wanted her baby girl to look as natural as she could. Tsunade kept it very simple. Tinted moisturizer, eyeliner, mascara and lipstick. Tsunade always found Naruto beautiful, but now the woman was even more so. She was glad that Naruto took more after Kushina, keeping their beauty natural. Not using makeup unless it was a seduction, assassination mission. Sure, Tsunade had seen Naruto with a full face, but the younger blonde always prefer a bare face. Let's get you into your dress, Tsunade said softly as blue eyes fluttered open. The Hokage felt like crying. She looked just like Kushina on her wedding day. Tsunade shuffled and pulled out a 3/4 sleeved mermaid-style wedding dress. She heard Naruto gasp. Unlike traditional weddings, the Hatake women prefer to show off their figure and skin. I hope you don't mind. Naruto stood, touching the lace that adorned the dress. It's, wow, Ba-chan, just wow. Naruto squawked at the backless segment of the dress. It would go low on her back. Tsunade smirked. Just a little tease for your husband. Ba-chan. Naruto whined, closing her mouth when the woman tossed a pair of white underwear at her. Naruto grumbled and slid the underwear on before dropping the towel. She had no problem showing Tsunade her body and got into the dress with Tsunade's help. It hugged her body comfortably as the fishtail trailed just a bit behind her. She looked up in surprise when Tsunade placed a woven silver crown on her head. Take a look, Tsunade whispered with misty eyes and led Naruto over to a mirror. You won't be needing shoes where we're going, so this is the complete look. Naruto felt her heart thud forcibly against her chest. Her eyes were wide, unable to comprehend the woman before her. The crown belonged to your mother. She wanted you to wear it when you got married. Tsunade explained as she saw that Naruto was about to cry. Hey hey hey, don't ruin my work. Naruto laughed and touched the crown gently. Thank you, Ba-chan. She saw Tsunade standing behind her, for everything. I would do it all again for you, brat. Tsunade said honestly, ready for the ceremony. Yeah, does Kakashi know how the Jinchuriki binding works? I beat it into Jiraiya to let him know. Everything will be okay. Tsunade reassured the blonde and ushered her for a quick photo. She even placed the camera on a timer and took a photo with Naruto. Both women were smiling wide. Ready? She asked with Naruto nodding. Tsunade placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder and before they knew it, they were in the middle of a forest. Where are we? Naruto asked as she linked arms with Tsunade. At the edge of the Hitaki forest. A few miles away from Konoha. Tsunade replied and led the girl into the forest. I hope he won't be late, Naruto joked, the two women laughing lightly as they moved deeper into the forest. Tsunade shook her head. For this, he'll be on time. It may not look like it, but every Hitaki dreams of getting married. A surprising trait, actually. I laughed in Tsukumo's, Kakashi's father, face when he first told me. I think we were 10 or so. Naruto paled, stopping them from walking. What? But what if Kakashi finds someone he really wants to marry? This sounds like a damn one-time thing. He's making a mistake. Why didn't you tell me this before I stormed his house? Naruto was in a panic. She felt so selfish right now, forcing her sensei into a marriage with her. I'm over 30 years old, Naruto. If I had found the right woman I would be married by now. Naruto whipped her head over to the voice and gasped slightly at her sensei's appearance. He was only wearing a pair of loose flowing white pants. That was the only piece of clothing he was wearing. There was no height, his hair falling freely over his face. There was no mask, his face bare for all to see. Heavens, he took Naruto's breath away. She knew from the looks the women, and even Sakura, threw at Kakashi that he was a handsome man, but this just solidified it. Her eyes zoned in on the beauty spot below his lip, she found it adorable as it added to his charm. Kakashi, she whispered as he approached her. She saw him hold out his hand towards her and she took it shakily. Sorry, she mumbled with a blush, my hands are sweaty. And then he smiled. Naruto felt like her eyes were going to pop out of her head. His smile showed only his top row of pearly whites and Naruto felt her knees weaken at the single dimple. She had a terrible weakness for dimples. You look wonderful, Kakashi said honestly, gazing appreciatively at his wife. He was in awe of his student. There were only a handful of times he had seen her out of her jumpsuit, however, each time she was still wearing baggy clothing. Even on a rare couple of seduction missions, he had accompanied her on, he had never seen her in the mission clothing, that was size job since that boy knew how to put on makeup. She had grown beautifully and looked older than her age. Lifting her hand, Kakashi politely placed a kiss on her knuckles and chuckled when she looked away with flaming cheeks. And, your hands aren't the only ones that are sweaty. Tsunade stood silently, watching the two of them interact. There was something sweet between them but she knew it would take time for them to fall in love with each other. The tender moment made Tsunade's heart lurch, it was almost the spitting image of Minato and Kushina on their wedding day. Clapping her hands, she gained the attention of the two newlyweds. Enough flirting, let's get going before Jiraiya hunts us down and we're all late. We're not flirting, Naruto squealed. Kakashi chuckled and tugged lightly on Naruto's hand so she would follow him. How are you feeling? He asked quietly, keeping their conversation as private as he could from Tsunade. Nervous. Naruto shrugged. Ba-chan said it's normal for getting married. Are you nervous? Nope. Kakashi replied cheerfully and saw her look away. Did I say something wrong? Naruto glanced over, trying her best to hide her red cheeks. It's just your face. Ah, not that it's ugly or anything. I mean, I dunno, I expected to see your mask. Seeing your lips move is different. Kakashi was amused by her reaction. You were going to say weird, weren't you? Naruto sealed her lips closed and didn't reply. Why aren't you wearing your mask? You were pretty evasive when it came to removing it and people taking a look. You're my wife, Naruto, it's only right that you see my face, Kakashi said offhandedly as they entered a small clearing. There was nothing spectacular about it, except a fallen log, covered in moss and small flowers, that would act as their altar. It's not much. Naruto shook her head. I never liked fancy things or stuffy traditional clothing. I'm glad it's outdoors. I've always dreamed of getting married outdoors, you know, but at a beach or something. Somewhere warm. Kakashi glanced down at his wife, seeing the enthusiasm in her eyes as she looked around excitedly. She was at ease being bonded to him in the wood and released a small sigh of relief. He doubted the women he came to know would accept such a backwater tradition or setting. Naruto turned to the sound of sniffling and turned to see a sobbing Jiraiya being held up by an amused Tsunade. Naruto scrunched up her nose as she saw a long trail of snot leave Jiraiya's nose. Iu Ero Senin, my baby, Jiraiya cried, falling to his knees at seeing how beautiful his goddaughter looked. I can't do this. Damn it, Jiraiya, Naruto yelled when he clung to her dress. She swatted his head. I should be saying that, not you. But Naruto, Jiraiya whined, just say the word and I'll whisk you away. A growl ripped through Kakashi's chest, making Naruto, Jiraiya, and Tsunade stare at him. Ohohoho, Jiraiya leapt to his feet, his previous spill gone. He nudged Kakashi playfully, it's already happening. Kakashi looked to the sky, glaring at the clouds. Maskless, the tops of his cheeks flushed lightly. That was you, Naruto said surprisingly. The growl had made her spine shiver and the Kyubi hum at the back of her mind. Clearing his throat, Kakashi said, we should get started. Jiraiya and Tsunade took a few steps back as Kakashi led Naruto the rest of the way to the fallen tree. How does this start? Naruto asked nervously, her eyes darting around the clearing. Now, Kakashi replied and flared his chakra brightly once, followed by smaller bursts of chakra. Naruto froze when a crying howl drowned the clearing. She felt her heartbeat erratically in her chest, looking around frantically. Kakashi squeezed her hand, reassuring his wife that she was okay as she settled beside him. Rustling was heard before the two as a massively tall and impending wolf stalked into the clearing, snarling as its piercing gold eyes burned towards Kakashi and Naruto. Naruto tilted her head as far back as she could with her mouth slowly dropping open. The wolf was at least 3 times her size as its dark silver and white pelt glistened under the sun's rays. Naruto's eyes scanned the scars that littered the beast's body, lingering longer on the 3 large scars that sat diagonally on its snout. She held her breath as the large beast scanned her, growling deep in its throat at her appearance before taking a deep sniff. The beast was so close that Naruto could feel its hot breath on her skin. Her body vibrated as its tail made 3 loud thumps on the earth. Kakashi released Naruto's hand and placed a bowl on the log. He pulled out a dagger and wordlessly cut his palm, filling up the bowl slowly before wrapping his hand. Naruto watched closely as he handed the knife to her. Her fingers trembled as she gripped it and glanced at the large wolf. The beast growled and nudged towards the bowl, gesturing for her to follow Hataki's movements. Holding the knife to her palm, Naruto grimaced as she willingly cut her palm and let it flow into the bowl. Her cut closed quickly, causing the beast to huff in her face. Frowning, Naruto looked at the beast again and tilted her head. What, not enough? She whispered, not sure if she was allowed to speak to the guardian. She narrowed her eyes when she felt like the beast was laughing at her and grumbled under her breath as she made a deeper cut, trying to fill the bowl again. Handing the knife back to Kakashi, Naruto watched as the beast closed its eyes and hummed deep in its chest. The blonde watched in awe as the blood mixed without anyone touching it, slowly turning a deeper shade of red with the humming coming to a stop. When Kakashi saw the guardian open its eyes, he picked up the bowl and brought it to his mouth. Ignoring the foul taste, he drank a steady amount before handing the bowl to the blonde. He chuckled at the paleness of her skin, but she took the bowl without question. You're doing well, he encouraged her quietly, seeing her smile at him before she drank the mixed blood. Kakashi could already feel himself being bonded to Naruto with each sip she took. He felt invigorated as part of herself filled every inch of his body. He could sense her life force powering through his veins, it was like his body was humming with unspoken energy. Naruto placed the bowl on the altar. Kakashi was staring at her oddly, making her blush and look towards the guardian. The guardian leaned down and licked the remaining remnants of blood out of the bowl. Binding the new member to the Hatake clan, offering her protection in their lands for as long as she breathed, extending their welcome to her future pups, and welcoming her into the family. The guardian stood tall and grinned down at the stunned blonde. Leaning down towards her, the guardian teasingly licked her cheek and made her yelp in surprise. The guardian let out a huff in amusement, feeling at ease as she placed her hand on its snout to push it away. They made sure to push their snout into her hand. She smelt strong, more than worthy of being a Hatake female. The guardian felt a firm bond, more so than any other outsider coming into the Hatake clan. The guardian snarled at Kakashi when it heard the young man growl at them. It was about to pounce on the disrespectful pup when the blonde woman pulled his snout back towards herself and stroked its fur lovingly. It saw the potential in her eyes and fell under her touch. She was different. This woman could not bear hate, no matter how severe. Licking her face once more, the guardian stood tall before disappearing into the forest. The Hatake clan was in good hands. Naruto was left baffled. That's just a giant puppy, she deadpanned and rolled her eyes. Puppies don't attempt murder, Kakashi rubbed the back of his head. Shivering at the memory of the guardian preparing to attack him. He couldn't help it, the fondness the wolf was giving to his wife had set him on edge. Hell, Kakashi wasn't even sure if the guardian was female or male. Its genitals were always hidden in the forest. It's your turn, Naruto. Oh, right. Naruto nodded and grabbed both of Kakashi's hands. You're going to feel a tug on your chakra, so try not to fight it, she said nervously, gaining a nod from Kakashi before closing her eyes. Taking a deep breath, chakra poured from Naruto's body, showing up visibly around her body in steady wisps as it flowed around her and Kakashi. She was grateful for the mermaid-style dress as she felt her chakra rustle at the edges of her dress. Naruto let her chakra reach out for Kakashi, latching onto his and tugging at him gently. His chakra felt electrical and erratic, yet it was controlled and densely packed, freely tamed. It was also warm. Kakashi's chakra felt warm. Tugging his chakra towards his body, Naruto mixed it with her own and felt it settle deep within her. Imprinting his chakra into her body. Drawing back her chakra, Naruto opened her eyes and grinned up at her new husband, all done. Kakashi offered a small smile in return, all done. Taking her arm in his, Kakashi led her towards Jiraiya and Tsunade. That was wonderful, Tsunade said gently, taking in the newlyweds. Now that you're married and bonded, where will you two live? Both of your apartments are too small for the two of you. Naruto stiffened. Live. Kakashi rubbed his nose and let out a deep sigh, I didn't think that far ahead. Naruto looked up to Kakashi hard, he thought about an children but not a place to live. Naruto dug her elbow into Kakashi, making him flinch and stare down at her. Ignoring him, Naruto faced Tsunade and Jiraiya to say, well, I've been planning to move out of my place since I got back with Ero Sennin. Just the other day we were house hunting. Jiraiya rubbed his chin, I still don't like those places. They're within my price range, Naruto grumbled, removing her arm from Kakashi and crossing her arms. Why were you two looking for a house together? Kakashi butted in, rubbing his side as he looked between master and student suspiciously. Jiraiya deadpanned, you must be extremely blind. Ero Sennin, Naruto hissed, tugging on the man's clothing to get him to shut up. Well, Tsunade drew attention to herself, feeling the atmosphere get tense. As great as this is, I still have work to do. Naruto, Finish finding a place and move as soon as you can. Kakashi, you should get packing. And Jiraiya, Tsunade glared at the man, I want no trouble today. Of course, Harem. Jiraiya held up his hands in surrender, I'll be the perfect civilian. Tsunade nodded before disappearing. Come on, brat, let's go house hunting. Jiraiya grabbed Naruto and started to drag her out of the forest. Kakashi reached out and grabbed Naruto, stopping Jiraiya from taking her away. He gave the man a chilling smile. I'm sure I'm more than capable of helping Naruto find a house. On what grounds? Jiraiya growled, ignoring the chill that went down his spine. As her husband and life partner. Naruto looked between the two men nervously. Ero Sennin. Yes. Jiraiya chirped happily and gave Kakashi a smug smile. I should probably go with Kakashi, Naruto admitted slowly, her heart aching at the hurt look in his eyes. It'll be faster if he comes with me and you and I have different tastes. We'll just end up arguing the whole day. Jiraiya took a step back, his heart growing heavy. He took his time to truly look upon the couple before him. There was an awkward atmosphere around them, and, to him, it didn't seem like it'd work. Yet Naruto had faith that whatever relationship or bond they have will grow. Though, at the moment, Jiraiya felt like he was intruding on a private matter. They're bonded, idiot. Seeing his beloved student in a wedding dress standing next to a half-Hatake made Jiraiya shed tears. You're just growing too fast for me, brat. He said softly, hating the way his voice broke when he called to her fondly. He placed a fatherly touch on Naruto's cheek, withering when she clung to his hand and rubbed her cheek into his palm. Just remember that this old man loved you first, and if he, as so much, makes your eyes water, I will skin him alive. Lair. By lair. Jiraiya hissed out his oath, forcing himself to turn on his heels and march out of the forest. Kakashi swallowed thickly, knowing that the white-haired Sannin would keep to his word. He placed his hand at the curve of her back, feeling her skin and glanced down to see the backless piece. Looking away quickly, he held his new wife's gaze. I hope you don't mind if we could meet up later. I feel like a piece of me is missing. He rubbed his bare face, feeling the stubble threatening to grow. Naruto snickered and shook her head, I don't mind. Don't exactly want to go house hunting in this dress. She gestured to her clothing, and I doubt Konoha could handle a maskless Kakashi, the most aloof man in the Fire Country. Ma, my reputation surely goes further than that. He joked and led her out of the forest. How are you feeling about all of this? Naruto chewed on the inside of her cheeks, nervous, I guess. Relief. Definitely thankful. Thanks a million for marrying me, Kakashi. Kakashi just nodded. It was an odd sensation to be thanked for going through with the marriage. I'm curious though. Tsunade-sama let me know that the host and Biju have to agree on a life partner. Was there no one else besides myself? Konoha is a large place. He saw her face scrunch up as he helped with her dress to get over a log. The way the material hugged her hips made his throat dry up. It's kinda, well, unexpected. Well, I was all against it, but then it got stuck in my head and then I realized it wouldn't be so bad, but the yelling and the youth. I don't think I will be sane after a year. Naruto shivered and hugged her shoulders. Lee. Kakashi was shocked. Not Lee, Naruto mumbled, looking away with a beet red face. Guy. Kakashi gasped, pulling Naruto closer to his side. How did Guy become a candidate? Naruto groaned, pinching her nose. Kyubi saw Guy doing squats and started swooning over his legs and Naruto felt her face get hotter as Kyubi whispered indecent tales into her head. Naruto squealed and lowered her hand to cover her nose, hiding her nosebleed. Kakashi caught the scent of blood and pulled Naruto's hand away. His eyes narrowed at the sight of a perverted nosebleed. It's not what it looks like. Naruto tried waving her hands defensively. You're having a nosebleed over another man. He joked, but he felt a hot flash of anger. Naruto slapped his bare chest. You try having a demon whisper all sorts of perverted things in your head 24/7. It's more graphic than damn Ero Sennin's books. Kakashi was now curious. arching a slick black brow. Oh. He rubbed his chin and leaned down to the eye level of his wife. Do tell. No way. Naruto leaned back and covered the lower half of Kakashi's face with her hands. It was still too much for her to handle, and seeing that dimple up close was making her head spin. One day you'll let me know, he said confidently, but, you had Guy as an option. Why not him? Naruto looked at the man, her brows creasing. I don't want Guy-sensei. Besides, Kyubi's lust for his legs and only came in a few weeks ago. I'm more of a shoulders person. She quickly glanced at Kakashi's broad shoulders before walking ahead of her husband. Kakashi caught her obvious stare and trotted behind her. It felt good to know that his wife at least appreciated his body. He was still a curious man, though. Then, does this mean that Kyubi tells you things about me? He caught Naruto as she tripped and pulled her flush against his chest. Looking down, he was surprised to see that her face, neck, ears, and shoulders were red. Her bright blue eyes had darkened in desire as her pupil was slit like a fox. The hand did very little to cover the blood that seeped between her fingers as she glared up at him. Small drops of blood had dropped onto her dress, but that didn't distract Kakashi from opening his Sharingan eyes, memorizing everything he saw for the rest of his life. If a small nosebleed was a few weeks, then this looked to be like a few years. Naruto. Damn it. Naruto used her clean hand to push away from Kakashi. She was so damn embarrassed. It was too much for her. I'll meet you at Ichiraku around 12. Kakashi reached out, missing his wife by a thread as she disappeared into a cloud of smoke. He looked at his outstretched hand curiously. He had been chosen for years. The curious man clenched his hand into a fist. He just wondered how long Naruto would have suppressed her instincts to bond and tie herself down if Sasuke and the council hadn't interfered. How long and hard did she try to suppress her bodily instinct to flush and bleed as the Kyubi whispered to her? Before and after her departure, they were in each other's presence for most days. He had so many questions. He could also feel a burning desire to be beside his newly bonded wife. Kakashi knew the feeling wouldn't leave until they consummated the marriage, but he was in no rush to go so fast with Naruto. For all he knew, he was her first relationship. Pulling up his mask, Kakashi let out a relieved sigh as he felt at ease again. Glancing around his apartment, he noticed that Naruto had cleaned up after herself and had even made his bed when he returned to get changed. Back in his Konoha nin uniform, Kakashi let his shoulders relax as less than 24 hours ago he was proposed to and then married. A wife, huh, I wonder how this changes things. He muttered to himself. No doubt his new wife would be uncomfortable letting their comrades know that they were married and under the circumstances in which they were, but there was at least one person Kakashi wanted to tell. Looking up at the ceiling, Kakashi whispered, I should probably ask Naruto first. Knowing him, he'd tell the entire village. Shrugging his shoulders, Kakashi made sure to lock up his apartment before heading off to meet his wife at Ichiraku. Pulling back the curtain from the stand, Kakashi's eye immediately zoned in on his blonde student as she happily downed a bowl of ramen. Mama, starting without me, Naruto. Naruto choked on her noodles with Kakashi calmly patting her back as she wheezed up at him, why you're early. Kakashi arched his brow as he handed her a napkin to wipe her face. We did agree to 12. Exactly. Naruto wiped her face furiously. It's 12. You should be here at 2, at least. You're on time. Her face settled as concern washed over her face. Do I need to get Ba-chan? She whispered nervously. Are you sick? Kakashi sighed and pushed Naruto back into her chair. I'm fine. I'll have a small bowl of eggplant ramen, please. He nodded towards Tuki. He glanced over to Naruto and saw her still staring at him worriedly. I'm fine, he assured her and leaned over to whisper in her ear. It would be terrible of me to keep my wife waiting. He was slightly pleased when he pulled back to see her blushing as she meekly nodded. Leaning his head on his hand, he reached over and ruffled her hair. I'm not a kid anymore, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto whined as she shook his hand off. Kakashi, he pointed out. He knew that it would be a struggle for them to move forward in their relationship if she kept calling him sensei. He thanked Yuki for his meal and nudged Naruto to finish her bowl. He waited until everyone was looking away before downing his ramen skillfully. Slapping down some money to cover both of them, Kakashi asked, "Ready?" He asked cheerfully. Naruto felt her spine tingle. "Nay, are you sure you're not sick, Kakashi Senator?" Kakashi. She caught her slip when his eye narrowed at her. 100%. Kakashi nodded and got to his feet. Waiting for Naruto to follow him out of the ramen stand. "I've been wondering though, why are you looking for a new place?" Naruto hummed as she rubbed the back of her neck. "It was Ero Sennin's idea actually. He has it in his head that I'm being stalked by fans." Konohamaru. Kakashi rubbed his chin in thought, "Though he's been following you around for years." Naruto shook her head. "Nah, Ero Sennin says his sources found that I have a fan club ever since I got back. He believes I'm not safe in my apartment anymore." "And you believe him?" "Of course," Naruto said without hesitation. "Even though he can be absent-minded at times, he has my best interest at heart." Kakashi heard the softness in her tone. Sneaking a peek at the blonde, his eye widened at the matching look as a small smile of contentment touched her lips. He had never seen her at peace before. She was always so boisterous or overthinking that she got sick. "He's a wonderful sensei for you." Naruto yelled, making Kakashi flinch. "You're a great sensei too, Yano." "Why thank you." Kakashi accepted her praise, though he didn't feel deserving of it. He felt his shoulders stiffen as he glanced to a shadowy alleyway and saw the shadows move and frowned. "Say, where are the places that Jiraiya-sama picked out?" Why, I can't afford them," Naruto grumbled. "Well," Kakashi said slowly, "we'll be living together. Meaning we'll be sharing an income. Our incomes combined should be more than enough to afford a place that Jiraiya-sama has looked at." He saw that she wanted to protest and added as he tapped her nose, "I can't let my wife buy our home all by herself. That'd make me look bad. You don't want Kurenai to scold me, do you?" He placed a hand over his heart as he saw the panic settle in her. Everyone tried to avoid the woman's harsh scoldings, even Kakashi. He placed a calming hand on her shoulder and immediately felt the heated glares on his back. Ignoring them, he said to his nervous wife, "It's okay, Naruto. I have plenty saved from my days as an Anbu operative. I don't tend to spend much either." Okay then, but there's only really one place I like that Ero Sennin picked out," she pointed out and led Kakashi far from the central hub and towards a quiet section of the village. "A civilian section," Kakashi muttered, seeing the appeal of a quiet neighborhood. They weren't apartments but actual houses, so shinobi weren't keen on exerting chakra to jump from rooftops to rooftops in their home village, so it'd be nice and quiet during the night. He spotted a few retired shinobi as they milled around doing their errands. "It's down this way." Naruto pointed down an overgrown path and led Kakashi to a moderate two-story house tucked away behind the trees. A bit away from the main road. "The real estate agent showed me this a week ago. It's a really nice and open plan with lots of natural lighting." Naruto rattled as they walked around the house. Neither really wanted to go track down the agent to open the place or to break in. It's got a lot of space at the back, so it'd be nice to put in a training ground there, and it's far from other houses so it won't be too noisy when learning jutsu. She turned around and found Kakashi looking around curiously. Trying to spy through the windows made her laugh. "What are you doing?" "Looking for escape routes," he said dryly. "Sure. Anyway, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom and has an office space. Bedrooms upstairs, and downstairs has the lounge, kitchen, dining, washroom and office space. It's a pretty big place." "Well," Kakashi smiled at Naruto, "we will need a big place for our children." He chuckled when Naruto turned bright red and thrashed about. "I'm kidding, I won't push you unless you're ready." Naruto ignored her flushed cheeks and looked at her new husband suspiciously. "And you're ready for all of this?" "Maybe not, but since it's you I'll be okay." Naruto felt her heart flutter at his words and pinched her nose. "This is so unfair. she muttered, ignoring the confusion on Kakashi's masked face. So, what do you think of the place? It's nice, we can talk to the realtor tomorrow and move in as soon as possible. You just want to run away from Guy-sensei. Ma. Kakashi rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. That may be one reason, but certainly not the biggest. What? Do you have stalkers too, Kakashi? Kakashi shuddered. If I didn't love this village, Naruto, I would have run away a long time ago, she just laughed. Kakashi held his hand out towards her. She looked at his hand in confusion before she shyly took his hand. Kakashi pulled her over him, locking their fingers together and led them back into the village. Her small hands felt different from the times he would help pull her up from the ground during training sessions. I've been meaning to ask, but I'd like to let Guy know about this. Huh, Naruto was lost in the sensation of holding hands. I mean, sure, that's okay with me. I was planning on letting Shikamaru know. Shikamaru. Kakashi frowned, remembering that he told Naruto to marry the boy just the other day. Well, he's been my best friend since the academy, Naruto replied, surprised that Kakashi was still holding her hand as they made it onto the main street. Either I tell him straight up and get lectured for an hour, or let him figure it out and get lectured for a week. Perks of being friends with a Nara. He felt Naruto nudge him with his crude joke. Getting lectured by a Nara wasn't pleasant. I'm surprised you're choosing Shikamaru. I would have expected Sakura at least. Naruto cringed. You're really terrible at paying attention to others, Kakashi. Despite saying to look underneath, Kakashi chuckled nervously as the blonde gave him the side eye. Besides our team missions and get-togethers, Sakura and I don't hang around each other. She spotted the few looks they got and felt him squeeze her hand reassuringly. Naruto gave him a grateful smile. Sakura has it in her head that I'm her love rival. We have a silent agreement not to bring it up during team gatherings, but she insists that she'll beat me for Sasuke's affections. Kakashi rolled his eyes. How childish. I thought Tsunade-sama beat that out of her, though thinking about it, he did recall the few times he has spotted Sakura glaring heatedly at Naruto during missions. Kakashi chalked it up to their opposite personalities. How do you think she'll take this arrangement? He watched as his wife mulled over his question before dread set on her face. What? Not even my handsome face is enough to deter her delusions. Naruto barked out in laughter. So, you're aware of how good-looking you are. When Kakashi nodded, Naruto could only shake her head in disbelief. Of course, he would know. You'll be surprised at the shit that spills out of her mouth. I bet she'll scream to high heaven that this marriage is a sham. Naruto froze when she heard a startling growl rumble from Kakashi's chest and looked into his eye. It was clouded over in thinly veiled anger. Squeezing his hand, Naruto got his attention and said truthfully, "It's not a sham to me, Kakashi. I very much want to be your wife in every way." She squealed in shock when Kakashi brought her into a tight hug and felt him bury his nose into her hair and take a deep breath. Kakashi. There are people looking. Sorry, I'll be like this for a while, Kakashi muttered, trying to calm himself from hunting down his other student. Right now, he didn't care who was oogling them. He hadn't expected to feel the effects of the bonding so quickly. I'm sorry to ask this, but I think it'll be best for my sanity if you sleep with me tonight. What? Naruto pushed back and looked at Kakashi. But. Kakashi grinned when her face flushed red. Get your mind out of the gutter, Naruto. Just a sleepover. The village doesn't need me hunting you down at 3 in the morning because I can't control myself. I won't make any moves unless you're ready, as promised. He made the effort to wipe the small drop of blood from her nose and showed it to her, making even her arms turn red in embarrassment. One day I'll get you to tell me what the Kyubi whispers to you, he teased, chuckling when she began trembling in his arms. I'm sure it's the same for you, unless, what I'm feeling is wrong. He challenged her, getting a feel for their new bond. Seeing her reaction made Kakashi want to tease her more. It was a refreshing side from the blonde who was friendly to everyone yet kept everyone at a distance. Just as he was about to test her boundaries, he felt his wife stiffen in his arms when they heard someone call their names. Releasing Naruto, Kakashi looked over at the voice and nonchalantly waved his hands towards the approaching Asuma and Kurenai. Yo! He kept a mental note to see what other reactions he could get out of his wife later on. Well, we have our years together to find them all, the thought pleased Kakashi. His blood was getting attached already. Embarrassing your student in public is a new one, Kakashi, Kurenai pointed out with an edge. Seeing the flushing cheeks of Naruto. I hope it's appropriate. Hey, Asuma gently chided Kurenai. She wasn't aware she could be a buzzkill sometimes. Looking back at Kakashi, Asuma asked, how have you been, Kakashi? Surprised you're not holed up at home reading on your day off, he gave Naruto a nod of acknowledgement when she made eye contact with him. The blonde only nodded back. Mama, something important came up. Kakashi dismissed Asuma and quickly grabbed Naruto when she tried to sneak off. Just spending some quality time together. Naruto stared up at Kakashi. She felt awkward standing around while his friends had a casual conversation. Ah, I see Kakashi has trapped you for the day, Asuma chuckled when Kakashi slung his arm around Naruto's shoulders. The blonde only accepted his touch with a half-hearted sigh. More like for life, Naruto replied, noticing when Kakashi touched her the admirers that followed her slowly disappeared. Looking at Asuma, the man seemed to notice the stragglers disappear. Ignoring Kurenai's glare, Asuma lit up a cigarette and spoke to the blonde, I see your idiot sensei has finally caught on. It was easy to deny it until I came home, Naruto shrugged. She tried to deny it for a long time but her followers' behavior got worse when she returned. Some were brave enough to even approach her apartment. Asuma knew. Kakashi was surprised, gaining the stink eye from the Sarutobi. Of course, I knew. I used to escort Naruto home after team dinners. Asuma was dumbfounded by Kakashi's ignorance. Man, sometimes I forget how dull you can be. I get surprised every time. I'm not following. Kurenai spoke up, watching Kakashi's actions carefully. He seemed awfully close to Naruto. With a grand gesture towards the blonde, Asuma pointed out of all our kids, Naruto is the most. Ah! Naruto yelled to cut Asuma off. Slamming her palms over his mouth. Grabbing his flak jacket, she dragged Asuma away from Kakashi and Kurenai to whisper harshly in his ear. Are you crazy? Don't say something so embarrassing. Asuma chuckled and poked her flaming cheek. His finger sunk into the soft cheek like a dumpling. He found it amusing as always. It's not embarrassing since I'm saying it with my chest. He thumped his chest for good measure, making Naruto click her tongue. Even Dad always watched over you when you'd walk home alone. Naruto gasped. She wasn't aware of this piece of information. Good idea though getting Kakashi involved. The kunoichi rave about him being a top bachelor. I've even heard a few civilian women speak highly of his specs, Asuma whispered, looking back at the duo they briefly ditched. You couldn't have chosen a better man than him. So, what's the story? Y'all fake dating. For how long? Surely you've got a few public stunts lined up in the future. Are you okay with kissing that old man? That'll get the ball running, he quickly listed off, fully intending to give the young woman a few ideas. Nobody would have guessed that Asuma was a huge gossip. He was Naruto's main source of the latest rumors. Asuma-sensei, Naruto warned, pushing his face away from hers. Don't push it. Asuma pouted, his cigarette almost falling out of his mouth, you're no fun. Yeah. The blonde waved him off, about to leave the area when Asuma piped up. By the way, Shikamaru is looking for you. He saw her shoulders stiffen and fought back the grin that threatened to appear, he seemed really irritated. I wouldn't avoid him for much longer if I were you, kid. Shit. Naruto muttered under her breath, she glanced over to Kakashi. He looked to be in an awkward position, trying to fend off Kurenai's noisy behavior. Her nose itched when she looked back at Asuma. Her eyes narrowed. Just what were you and Kurenai-san doing before bumping into us? Asuma's grin could no longer hide. Oi Kurenai will get upset if you call her that, He could see her pale, her frame trembling. You caught on quite fast this time. Shit. Naruto couldn't even grab Kakashi, but she was quick to turn around and run away, barely missing the shadows that tried to grab her. Damn it. Naruto. Come back here. Shikamaru's voice could be heard, but Naruto didn't want to risk looking back. She could hear Kurama laughing deep inside her mind. How did she forget? Before barging her way into Kakashi's house, she had broken down in Shikamaru's arms, but she never told him why. That damn fox, Shikamaru cursed, landing next to Asuma before chasing after the blonde once more, eager to get some answers out of her after the stunt she pulled in the Nara compound. His mother nagged him non-stop to chase after the blonde when she suddenly disappeared, and his father was no help to calm Yoshino down. Wait, Shika. Choji and Ino arrived next with Team 8 in tow. They all seemed out of breath. You all need to train more, Asuma chided, ignoring Ino's glare. What happened? Kakashi asked nonchalantly, his eye following the retreating back of his wife. Judging by the Nara's boastful shouts and his blonde screaming, they were undoubtedly close. For now, Kakashi was comfortable with their bond. He knew the side effects of bonding with Naruto would only worsen the longer he put off consummating their marriage. It wouldn't take long for Kakashi to grow agitated and envious of their bond as the weeks go by. He suppressed the floating dark thoughts of aggressively seducing Naruto to bed. It would only freak her out in the long run, and he was no beast. Same stuff as always, Kakashi-sensei. Choji caught his breath and laughed when he heard Shikamaru becoming more furious. I'm sure Naruto is the only person to make Shika run and scream like that. Ino felt like throwing up. I don't you understand how a lazy bum L like that is able to run like that. You seem different, Asuma whispered as he approached Kakashi. The kids are busy talking about the two troublemakers that ran off. When Kakashi looked at him, Asuma shivered. It was like a veil had dropped. As if Kakashi was done just being present. I guess Naruto finally let you in about her rat trouble. Kakashi hummed, yeah, there are a lot of rats. The leader of those rats should be around soon. Asuma frowned, not too sure what Kakashi meant by the leader. The creepy laugh coming from Kakashi made him nervous but also made him curious. What are you thinking? The rat infestation stinks. Kakashi gave Asuma a look when Kurenai wasn't looking. Want to join? Spitting out his cigarette and giving it a firm stomp, Asuma's grin matched Kakashi's masked grin. I thought you'd never ask. Before the students and Kurenai noticed, the two of them disappeared in the wind. It would be no fun to share the prey with a large pack. The two decided to hunt as a duo. Naruto. Wait. Oh my god, please wait. Naruto screeched, holding her hands up to stop the approaching Nara. I'll talk. The blonde screamed when Shikamaru slammed his hands beside her head, trapping her between him and the alleyway wall she had foolishly gone down. She could feel his shadows climbing all over her body, squeezing her lightly as if giving her the warning to try and escape him. Naruto's pupils shook when she looked at Shikamaru. He was pissed. This will be your only warning. Shikamaru saw the terror in her eyes and took that as her answer. With a scoff, he moved away from Naruto and kicked a rubbish crate over to sit on. Gesturing to her, not daring to remove his shadows, he said, well, speak. Sasuke's coming home, Naruto blurted out, getting straight to the point. She could see the surprise on Shikamaru's face before it turned serious. She started babbling, he's agreed to come back to the village and start his clan. Sasuke should be home in a month or so, perhaps in a few weeks. No one can really predict that bastard's movements. The council have agreed to drop any charges that may be against him in the Fire Country so he can safely return without being hunted by Anbu. On the term Sasuke gives them an heir. Naruto bit the inside of her cheek when Shikamaru raised his hand to stop her from continuing. Naruto, Shikamaru was piecing together all the information he had. Who was going to help Sasuke create an heir? He knew he didn't need to ask her. He already knew the answers, but he had to hear it. Shikamaru couldn't forget the image of Naruto sobbing heavily in his arms, shaking terribly as whatever he said couldn't comfort her. Seeing her hesitate, Shikamaru could feel the anxiousness well inside of his stomach. Who? Naruto. He didn't mean to shout, but he was desperate for answers. Never in his time knowing the stupid blonde had he ever seen her so distraught. It's me, Naruto mumbled, unable to look into Shikamaru's eyes. The heavy look of betrayal filled them, but Naruto knew the betrayal wasn't aimed at him. It was probably meant for Shikamaru's father, who also sat on the council. At least, it was me. Naruto tried to cheer up the situation. I found a way around the council's order with help from Ba-chan. What? Shikamaru rubbed his face tiredly. What have you done? I married Kakashi. Naruto smiled tensely as Shikamaru processed the new information. There was a flurry of emotions passing through his eyes. I needed a marriage partner that came from a reputable clan, undeniable achievements, unattached, and of course they needed to agree to marry me immediately before Sasuke returned. Shikamaru's pupils trembled. Also, I wanted to choose someone I knew I would be compatible with. It's not like you'd agree to marry me. Shikamaru snorted. That'll be too awkward between us. Running his fingers through his hair, he asked, when did you get married? A few hours ago. Naruto tilted her head in thought, ignoring the strangled cry from Shikamaru. We had a long conversation last night and Kakashi agreed. I know he'll take good care of me, Shika. Shikamaru refrained from shaking the blonde. What would have happened if Kakashi-sensei said no? I mean, sure we could have gotten married, but I'm sure the council would have some sly trick up their sleeve to separate us. They might do that for you and Kakashi-sensei. He could understand why she needed a well-established man from an old clan. It was guaranteed protection, but Shikamaru didn't know much about the Hatake clan. He only knew that Kakashi was the only one left. Naruto shrugged her shoulders as the shadows slowly returned to their user. I would have left the village and gone into hiding. Brushing her hair out of her face, Naruto continued, I have a vague idea on the type of shit they'll try to pull once they find out I'm married, but I'm prepared to fight them on it. Kakashi is too. You're awfully confident in a man that's habitually late to everything. I wouldn't be surprised if that man turned up late to his own funeral. Naruto chuckled, nodding in agreement. We've agreed to keep the marriage thing on the down low until we figure out, she waved her hand around, how this works. You've told me. Just you and Tsungai-sensei. Naruto replied, gesturing at him that they should leave the alleyway. Does Sakura know that Sasuke is returning? Shikamaru asked and sighed heavily when Naruto shook her head. He was well aware of the tense relationship between the two. You know where to go when you need a break. Sure. Naruto waved goodbye to Shikamaru, calling out as he left, hey. Don't be too hard on your old man. I'm sure he opposed to it. That doesn't change a thing. Shikamaru shouted back over his shoulder, he's a Nara. Watching Shikamaru's back as he left, Naruto turned on her heel and headed back towards her apartment. She didn't need to go anywhere today and her mind was starting to feel the fatigue of what happened this morning. Once reaching her apartment, she sighed as the familiar sense calmed her down with Kyubi stirring deep within her. She knew he wanted to speak to her, but Naruto wasn't up to it at the moment. Kicking her shoes off, Naruto didn't make it far when she tensed, seeing a figure out of the corner of her eyes. Shit. I knew I forgot something, she mumbled, turning to face Kakashi as he sat leisurely on her couch. He was waiting for her. With a grimace, Naruto approached the man and said, I told Shikamaru. I figured after all the screaming that happened around Konoha. Kakashi nodded, unclasping his hands as he tapped the free space beside him for his wife to sit. He watched carefully as she hesitated before plopping down beside him. So, how did it go? He gently prodded, ignoring the light scent of the Nara clan surrounding her. At this point, he could confidently ignore it. Naruto chuckled nervously, he took it better than I thought. For a minute, I was worried he was going to find you and demand answers. You're lucky he went to start a fight with Shikaku-sama instead. Ma, is that so? Kakashi leaned back into the couch, taking the opportunity to hold his hand out towards his wife. Shyly, she slid her hand into his. It was an innocent touch between them. Do you want to stay at mine tonight? He tightened his grip slightly when she tried to pull back in shock. Kakashi tried to appear kind as he casually shrugged his shoulders, rubbing soothing circles on her hand with his thumb. I mean, you did spend the night before. Naruto didn't know whether to scream or cry at his choice of words. If she felt uncomfortable for a second, Naruto decided it'd be easier to run away from Kakashi's apartment than to have him stay at her place. After some thought, Naruto nodded slowly. Sure, I don't mind. Good, Kakashi mumbled. He could tell she was uncomfortable with the skinship, so he decided not to push her limits for now. He found it amusing for someone who screamed at him to marry her. She was awfully shy. Naruto, I'll wait here while you pack a bag. Nodding, Naruto got up and wordlessly entered her room to get her belongings. It didn't take her long to get an overnight bag ready, and when she returned to her living area, Naruto frowned when Kakashi wasn't on the couch. Kakashi, in here, he called from the kitchen. Moving towards the voice, Naruto found him rummaging through her fridge. What are you doing? Mama, you should throw expired food out. Kakashi dangled a withered vegetable towards her. His nose stung at the smell, before tossing out more expired products. Standing behind Kakashi, she noticed that her food had definitely gone off. I'm not surprised. I haven't been home in a few weeks. Kakashi paused, looking over his shoulder at her. I've been holed up in Ba-chan's private library trying to find a loophole between Ero-sennin's missions. Looking around her apartment clearly, Kakashi picked up on the layer of dust laying on the surfaces. He noticed the stagnant smell when he first broke in, but dismissed it when Naruto's chakra signature got closer. When was the last time you came home? I'll take the couch this time, Naruto quickly spoke up once they arrived at Kakashi's place. Seeing his curious gaze, Naruto felt nervous. You should have the bed this time. This is your place. Kakashi nodded. He did consider the idea of sharing the bed, but one look at his wife and it seemed like she was ready to flee. Sure, taking her bag out of her arms, he placed it down before silently preparing the couch into a bed. Watching Naruto out of the corner of his eye, the woman quietly joined him in preparing her bed. Kakashi found her actions interesting. Once they were done with the bed, the apartment was filled with silence once more. Taking the lead, Kakashi held his hand out once more to his wife. He was pleased when she moved closer to him to take his hand after her slight hesitation. You're nervous. Naruto let out a strained laugh. Well, yeah, just a bit. She felt her shoulders relax when Kakashi rubbed his thumb across her knuckles. The soothing sensation felt odd to her. Looking up into his eye, she could almost see his thought process and asked him, Are you trying to seduce me? I'm not trying. Kakashi grinned at her observation. It was on the nail. I am seducing my wife. Slowly, until my wife is comfortable being near me. Naruto frowned. I'm comfortable being near you. As training partners, yes, Kakashi nodded, but not as husband and wife. He made his point by stepping closer to her, only for Naruto's eyes to go wide in response, though Kakashi didn't budge. I'll only go as far as you let me, Naruto. I'm quite the expert in reading body language. Are you seriously bragging right now? Naruto giggled, feeling at ease from Kakashi's nonchalant joke. Does this mean I can seduce you too? She challenged. Kakashi laughed, though it was strained. It seemed Naruto didn't notice as she let go of his hand to go through her bag. Kakashi didn't dare show a hint that her words almost made him crumble. Kakashi found his quickening attraction growing weirdly fast. His clan history never mentioned the bonding happening so quickly. Most Hitaki were able to defer their instincts on average 3 months. Kakashi felt like he wouldn't last the fortnight at this pace. Are you hungry? As if on cue, Naruto's stomach went off as she looked away in embarrassment. You've had a long day. Kakashi chuckled, making his way toward the kitchen to prepare a simple meal. So have you, Naruto pointed out, following after him. Getting married, looking at a house, and now this. Wait, we haven't eaten since breakfast. That will be solved soon. Kakashi looked in his fridge and pulled out a few ingredients. Do you mind washing the rice? No problem. Naruto walked around Kakashi's kitchen, already knowing where his rice was after she opened all his cupboards in the morning to look for things for breakfast. Grabbing a small pot, Naruto began to wash and rinse the rice as she heard Kakashi chopping behind him. Placing the rice to cook on the stove, Naruto looked beside her as Kakashi transferred the vegetables into a pan to stir-fry and frowned. Looking around the kitchen and grumbled, "There are only vegetables. It'll be delicious." Kakashi reached towards his seasonings and could feel his wife pouting beside him. Fine, there's some pork mince on the bottom shelf in the fridge. Bring that to me. He tried not to laugh when she ran to grab him the meat and gestured for her to tip the rest of the mince in. Before he could ask her to prepare the table, Naruto quickly left his side and he could hear her grabbing utensils and cups for the table. He hummed in content as he added a dash of soy sauce. After setting the table, Naruto appeared by Kakashi once more to make miso soup to go with their dinner. Did you like the house? It's nice. But, Naruto pushed, feeling a little nervous about his answer. I know a better place. It's further out, quiet, and you wouldn't have to worry about privacy. There's a simple training ground on the property too. It's a little big for us now, but in a few years the space will be plenty. He smiled when her chopping of green onions became out of sync. I can show you the place tomorrow. Feeling nervous, Naruto steeled her nerves and asked, that place sounds too good to be true. Are you sure you're not being scammed? She placed the green onions and tofu into the miso soup to boil. I doubt my father would do that to me, Naruto. Naruto froze, slowly putting down her knife to look at Kakashi. The man was calmly tossing the stir-fry as if he hadn't dropped a bomb on her. Taking a deep breath, she said, you want us to move into your family home. Turning off the stovetop, Kakashi took the food off the heat before he faced his wife. It's now our family home, Naruto. But that's your home. It's not some random house on the road. Oh my god, I'm invading your. She instantly stopped her rambling when Kakashi cupped her cheeks. She stiffened involuntarily and slowly relaxed when his thumbs gently traced her face. What was once mine became ours when we got married, Kakashi spoke slowly, bringing his head down to eye level to hold her attention. He could see the anxiety in her eyes. It's not my family home anymore. It's ours, Naruto. Seeing her eyes mist and lips trembling, she nodded softly, which made Kakashi want to squeeze her tightly. I'm sure you'll love the place. I haven't lived there in years, so it'll need some work. Let's go have a look tomorrow. Okay. Naruto nodded once more. Lovely. Seeing her eyes twinkle, Kakashi took this chance and leaned down to kiss Naruto. He could feel her stiffen in surprise and she let out a little squeal. Pulling back, her face was as red as a tomato as she stared at him wide-eyed. Grinning, Kakashi swooped down again to steal another chaste kiss and felt her relax this time. Smiling against her lips, Kakashi muttered, sounds like the rice is ready. I'll plate the food. Go take a seat. Naruto felt her heart race erratically. She couldn't look at Kakashi at the moment and scampered to her seat. Naruto contemplated going home, but the smell of the dinner place before her stopped her thoughts. It was so fragrant that it made her mouth water. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the food. Kakashi followed suit and waited for his wife to take the first bit. He watched her happy expression as she ate his cooking before pulling down his mask to eat his portion. Hokage-sama has said we can go on our honeymoon at the end of the month. She's given us the week off. I wasn't expecting a honeymoon. Naruto laughed awkwardly, but part of her was excited. Where do you want to go? Kakashi hid his frown. He was aware Naruto never expected to get married, but it was also sad for him to hear she didn't think she'd get a honeymoon. Humming lightly to hide his displeasure, Kakashi calculated that he had a week to plan for their trip and he was already formulating a few plans. It'll be a surprise. Do you prefer somewhere warm or cold? Kakashi smiled when Naruto lit up. Chewing on her meal, Naruto was deep in thought before answering, somewhere cold. Somewhere far away that doesn't feel like Konoha. Where it feels like I'm in a different world. Can we do that? She asked excitedly, her legs bumping up and down happily. Kakashi already thought about calling in a few favors. He knew of a place that was secluded and had beautiful views of the snow. Kakashi nodded, finishing up his meal as Naruto babbled excitedly that she had to go shopping for warm clothes as she collected their dishes and started washing them. Kakashi observed his wife and thought about their future. He had a week to woo her and then another week to seduce her before he went mad. Kakashi could feel her emotions through their bond and he knew his kiss, although off guard, was welcomed and made her stomach churn. He could feel all her emotions. Even now, there was a mix of nervousness and excitement at the same time. It was a good thing Kakashi was able to read her body language as he closed their connection. He didn't want to invade her privacy all the time. Getting up, Kakashi approached Naruto and trapped her between the sink and his body. Lowering his head, his lips hovered over her neck and saw her skin flush. Thank you for marrying me, Naruto. He didn't need to feel their connection to know that he affected her. Naruto giggled nervously, placing the soapy plate on the dish rack. I should be thanking you instead. Her breath hitched when she felt his breath on her skin. It made her body tingle so she had to lean her weight on the counter to stop herself from making contact with Kakashi. She could feel her nose beginning to tingle and she desperately didn't want a nosebleed now. I would be a stranger right now. I need you to understand, Naruto, that this marriage has also saved me. A lone wolf for eternity doesn't keep their sanity for long. You've given me a family. His lips brushed her neck, leaving a light kiss that made her breathing pattern change. A family to protect. He kissed further up her neck, his hands touching hers gently, and soon, a family to love. His fingers danced up her arms as he kissed behind her ear. They were both aware they weren't in love with each other, but the future was still unknown. Sweet dreams, Naruto. Kakashi kissed her crown before disappearing into his room before he moved too far and made Naruto uncomfortable. Leaning against his door, he heard a thump from the kitchen and smirked. Naruto will definitely look at him as a man from now on. As her husband, Kakashi was confident about it. Naruto's legs gave out as she collapsed to the floor. She covered her bleeding nose as every inch of her skin tingled. That was dangerous. Kakashi was dangerous. Her husband is dangerous. It was only a matter of time before Kakashi seduced her pants off, but Naruto felt something different from Kakashi's tactics. Naruto was familiar with the art of seduction and she knew his intentions were different. Naruto felt that Kakashi was approaching her as his wife. Shaking her head, Naruto found it hard to believe that Kakashi already saw her as his wife. Is it possible? Getting up, Naruto finished the dishes before using the bathroom to get ready for bed. Her mind was racing, but if Kakashi truly saw her as a wife, then it wouldn't be fair for her to see him as her teacher. Looking in the mirror, she saw the determination reflected back at her and nodded. Kakashi was her husband. Morning. Feeling someone staring at her, Naruto opened her eyes and found Pakun staring at her. Yawning, she caught the attention of the pug and reached out to pet him. Morning pack. Morning pup. Pakun hummed as Naruto scratched the right spot behind his ear. Come on boys. Greet your new matriarch. What? Naruto bolted up at Pakun's words and soon found her bed filled with Kakashi's 8 ninkin. Their wagging tails and excited yips made Naruto snicker and soon she tackled them all down to rub their bellies. Look at how cute you have all grown. So handsome. So cute. Ahem. Pakun caught their attention and gestured for the dogs to line up. Naruto looked rough, but she was looking at them happily. Pakun couldn't help but wag his little tail. He always adored Naruto, and now that she was their master's wife made it all the better. He finally had the perfect excuse to be around her more often now. We'd like to welcome the wife of Kakashi Hatake. We're his pack. I am Pakun. He gestured to himself before introducing the rest of the pack one by one. They all greeted Naruto with a deep bow. Naruto was stunned. She wasn't sure what to do when Kyubi nudged her to introduce herself to the pack. Thank you for the wonderful greeting. I am Naruto Uzumaki, the wife of Kakashi Hatake. She smiled when the pack began pounding on the bed with their paws. Naruto could tell they wanted to howl but couldn't with the shared walls. Mama, how dare you go behind my back and greet my wife without me present? Kakashi walked out of the shower, a towel around his hips and another around his shoulders as he used it to dry his hair. He approached his wife and pack, shooing them off the bed, and he leaned down towards his stunned wife and kissed her cheek. Good morning, Naruto. Gee, good morning, she stuttered, looking away from his damp body. Naruto had seen him several times, but with their change in relationship, she felt shy. The kiss on her cheek burned lightly and kept her eyes locked on Kakashi's eye. The smile he had on his face showed his dimple that Naruto leaned forward to peck his dimple. How adorable. Pakun licked his paws, watching the newlyweds. I've done my job, but we'll leave now. This is the perfect time for you two to mate. Pakun, Kakashi warned, grabbing Naruto's arm before she could run away. He dismissed the ninkin that showed up on their own and apologized to the blonde. They're excited I finally got married. They probably couldn't wait another day to meet you as my official wife. Right. Naruto swallowed. The droplets were falling down his body and it was hard for her not to follow them. You should get changed and I can make breakfast. Wait a second. Your kiss was interrupted by Pakun. Kakashi tapped his cheek teasingly. I didn't feel it because of the cruel dog. I believe I need one more. Her surprised eyes made Kakashi's grin become wider as he loomed over her. He could tell she was hardening her resolve. As she moved to kiss his cheek, Kakashi grabbed her face with one hand and brought her lips to his bare lips, catching her off guard. Yuba! Naruto was cut off when she felt Kakashi slip her tongue in and felt her resolve crumble. It felt like a dream being kissed by Kakashi. It felt 1000% times better than her fantasies that she didn't notice lying on her bed with Kakashi hovering between her legs. His towel dangerously hanging off his hips. Kakashi didn't hesitate and plunged deep into her mouth. His desire increased expeditiously when he found Naruto bonding with his pack, and even more so when she said that she was his wife. For the first time in forever, Kakashi felt impatient. Feeling her hands slowly move up his chest and around his shoulders, Kakashi hummed in delight and licked the roof of her mouth. Hearing Naruto moan under him drove Kakashi wild. Feeling her tongue shyly tease him back, Kakashi growled and tried to devour her mouth. Pulling away, Kakashi took in the sight before him. His heaving wife, blushing cutely with swollen lips and bed hair, made Kakashi growl in delight. Naruto, he muttered, gently rubbing her lips with his thumb. I can stop. Just say the word. Naruto, although dazed in passion, could see the concern in Kakashi's eye and felt touched. I think I'm okay with kissing. Just kissing for now, is that okay? Kakashi chuckled, kissing her lips gently. That's more than okay. Your pace, remember. Kakashi could think of numerous ways to kiss his wife, and all routes he could think of would leave her breathless. Before he could steal another kiss, they were interrupted by knocking at the front door. Ignore it, Kakashi mumbled, prepared to take more than a dozen kisses, but the knocking continued. Kakashi, my friend, I know you are home. Naruto heard Guy's boisterous voice and winced. It strained her ears. Naruto pushed Kakashi away and said, I should go home and get ready. Didn't you pack clothes? Naruto glared at his cheeky grin as she managed to sneak away from him. I do, but I'm not showering here. With Guy outside the door, grabbing her bags, and with Guy's voice and knocking getting louder, Naruto looked at her husband's half body that lay on her bed. It was a sight to see. Gesturing to her face, don't forget to cover up. You might give Guy-sensei a heart attack. Before Kakashi could somehow convince Naruto to stay, she disappeared into a cloud of smoke and leaves. Sighing, Kakashi got up and answered his door. You really have poor timing, Guy. Kakashi. Guy was happy to see his friend. Already used to seeing his friend's face, and slid into his home. I had a wonderful dream last night, Kakashi. A new challenge. Guy grew quiet when he saw the spare bed in Kakashi's living area pulled out. He looked back at his friend and looked apologetic. I must apologize, Kakashi, I wasn't aware you had company. No, it's for the best you're here now. We need to have a talk. Kakashi walked back to his room, but before he closed the door to change, he said, keep this conversation a secret, okay? It'll freak my wife out if anyone else knew. Of course. You can count on me. Guy said happily, and being the good friend he was, started cleaning the spare bed. It wasn't until he folded the bed away that it clicked and rushed inside Kakashi's room. A wife. Keeping his word, Guy didn't shout but hissed as Kakashi was pulling his mask up. Ma took you long enough to notice. Kakashi responded dryly. It was an emergency wedding, but not without thought. Maneuvering around Guy, Kakashi made himself and his unwanted guest a cup of coffee. Would you like to take a guess who came to propose to me last night? Last night, Guy mumbled, a small frown on his brow. But you said you have a wife. Oh no, Kakashi. He felt his bottom lip wobble. You didn't invite me. He felt betrayed. Only the Hokage and Jiraiya-sama were allowed to attend the ceremony. I'm sure once everything settles down we'll have a proper ceremony and invite everyone. Kakashi dropped another hint, waiting for Guy to place all the pieces together. Guy accepted the cup of coffee and sat down on the couch. He couldn't believe it. No, in a way he could. This was the only person Kakashi willingly put up with and would agree to even spend time with outside of work. Guy felt envious. It would take him either kidnapping Kakashi or nagging his head off until Kakashi agreed to do anything more than a quick bite to eat. Naruto-chan can do so much better than you, he said bitterly. Kakashi chuckled. I'm well aware, but she chose me. He rubbed it into Guy's face, and he would never tell his fellow Junin that he was a candidate. Kakashi could almost feel his eye itching to have a look at Guy's. Would you like to hear the story? I have about 30 minutes before I have to go pick up my wife. Fine. Do your worst, Guy grumbled, but his ears were perked up. He was genuinely excited to hear about the new path in his rival's life, and Guy had no doubt Kakashi wouldn't have made a rash decision without a plan. Naruto. Feeling refreshed after her shower, Naruto wandered around her apartment looking for food. Shit, how annoying, recalling how Kakashi threw out her expired food and now there was nothing to eat. Nothing's safe anyways. She could feel her stomach start to growl at her and sighed. It didn't take Naruto long to find herself at Ichiraku's and sheepishly asked for a bowl of miso ramen. I'm always surprised you don't get sick of this stuff, Tsuki laughed, handing the girl a bowl of steamed eggs to appease her first. It's not healthy, Naruto. Naruto groaned. Tsuki had lectured her many times, but it never stuck. I'll try and do better, okay. But I really didn't have any food at home this time and was hungry. Just this once, Naruto. Tsuki believed her and returned to making her noodles. By the way, I wasn't able to ask yesterday, but where have you been lately? You've been absent for the past few weeks. Same old with Ero Sennin. Naruto dismissed Tsuki's concerns easily and dug into the creamy eggs. The sesame seed oil and fresh scallions filled her with warmth. You really do make the best eggs, old man. Hey, thanks, brat. Tsuki handed her order over. Don't be a stranger, alright. Be a stranger during breakfast though. Naruto playfully stuck out her tongue, making the ramen stall owner laugh. Eating her meal happily, Naruto quickly paid for her meal before she decided to head back to Kakashi's place. She was excited to see Kakashi's family home, and another part of her was still anxious that she was intruding. Sighing heavily, Naruto rubbed the stiffness out of her neck that she was caught off guard when her upper arm was grabbed and she was pulled into a dark alleyway. What the? She was cut off when she met her cheeky husband's face and frowned. I could have hurt you, she hissed. Kakashi wasn't concerned and shrugged his shoulders. Your reactions are late. If I were an enemy I would have killed you. Haha. Naruto laughed sarcastically. I was about to come to your place. Before that, Kakashi quickly kissed his wife, cupping her face in his hands and tilting her head back so he could align their lips perfectly. Naruto, caught off guard once more, felt her back being pressed against the wall. She never expected Kakashi to be so affectionate. Naruto wasn't sure how or when he took off his mask, but his chapped lips made her body tingle. Kakashi hummed in delight when she kissed back. The longer she was away from him, the harder it was for him to repress his urges to hunt her down. Kakashi planned to have Naruto move in with him, otherwise, the blonde would conveniently find him in her bed in the morning. Feeling her gasp for air, Kakashi took this as his chance to plunge his tongue deep within her and made her tremble against him. With much reluctance, Kakashi pulled away and observed the change in his wife. He could feel her excitement leaking through, but also the anxiety. Giving her a smile, Kakashi asked, "Shall we go now?" Naruto felt played and wanted to sock Kakashi in the gut. Though hearing the busy streets just meters away from them made Naruto realize they could have been caught at any moment making out. She could only gape at Kakashi before she grabbed his collar and slammed their foreheads together. "Ow!" Kakashi hissed and rubbed his throbbing head. "Okay, I deserved that one." He held his hands up in defense when she glared at him. "We could have been caught," Naruto hissed. "Mama, I wouldn't make it so easy for others." Kakashi pulled up his mask before holding his hand out towards Naruto. He could see her hesitation after his kiss and waited patiently. Naruto huffed. Kakashi, looking like a kicked puppy, didn't suit him and grabbed his hand. "I'll headbutt you again if you try another move like that." Her threat fell on deaf ears. "So," Naruto started as Kakashi led them through the shadows towards their family home, "how did Guy-sensei take it?" He was upset he couldn't attend the ceremony. Kakashi released her hand for the moment so they could pick up their pace. Running along the rooftops, he continued, "He took it rather well after sulking for a while. It won't be long before that man tries to find you for a conversation." "Should I be worried? Should I be worried about my impending conversation with Shikamaru?" Kakashi replied with a question, and Naruto understood immediately that they were both in for long draining talks. They traveled the remaining time in silence before they landed at a large wooden gate with the Hatake clan emblem engraved on both gate doors. "Here's to home sweet home," Kakashi chuckled, though part of him was nervous. There was a slither of doubt in him that Naruto wouldn't like the place and wouldn't want to move in. He had a plan to convince her if she turned him down. Reaching the gates, Kakashi pressed his chakra into the clan insignia when a soft click was heard and the gates smoothly opened. "Welcome to the Hatake residence." Kakashi made a mental note to have Naruto's chakra keyed into the gates. Naruto's eyes widened in awe, a slight gasp leaving her lips. The area was vast, with the perimeter being privately covered by tall lush bushes, and behind the large traditional-styled home, she could see a full forest. Stepping forward carefully, her eyes swept over the training grounds off the side. It wasn't too close to the house and it had the necessities available, with a large oak tree providing some shade nearby. The large front yard caught Naruto's attention. There was space for a cute garden if Kakashi agreed. There was even plenty of space for a low, wooden platform for her to spend time outside studying Fuinjutsu. Finally, her attention focused on the house. It was traditional and you could see where it needed work, but Naruto found the place charming as a smile grew on her lips. No doubt the large house had plenty of space. Naruto had no hesitation to use the money she saved for a deposit to renovate the house. Getting excited, Naruto rushed towards the house excitedly and eagerly looked back at Kakashi. He was still standing at the entrance. "Well, come open the house." Kakashi sighed in relief, slowly approaching the blonde. His hand slowly pulled out an old key in his pouch. Looking at the metal reflecting in his hands, he steeled his nerves and unlocked the house for his wife to enter. "Feel free to explore. Nowhere is limited to you." Naruto didn't have to be told twice before rushing around the house. Kakashi tucked his hands in his pockets and he moved around the house to open the windows and let the air circulate. He made mental notes that a couple of the tatami rooms would need replacing, along with a few shogi panels. "I should check the plumbing and electricity," he mumbled, recalling the days he would only return to the compound to celebrate his parents' individual birthdays. Walking around the home, he came across a few of Naruto's clones that were chatting ideas with each other. The sight warmed Kakashi's heart as he approached one of them. "Where can I find the real you?" One of the clones pointed towards the back. "Boss has gone to greet Mr. and Mrs. Hitaki." What? Naruto had always surprised him, but this one was more unexpected than her proposal. Quick on his feet, he rushed outside to where his parent memorial stones were and stopped in his tracks. He found his wife kneeling before his parents' headstones, head bowed and deep in prayer. Kakashi felt his throat tighten seeing the blonde this way. He knew instantly that he would never regret his choice by marrying Naruto. His mind wandered back to his conversation with Guy and saw some truth to it now. Flashback. "You're being dramatic," Kakashi scoffed after updating Guy. "I just happened to be the best person at the time." "Liar, and I know you're aware of it," Guy argued. "Naruto-chan chose you because she may like you, and you agreed so quickly because you like Naruto more than anyone else in your life. You're too stuck into your book that you never noticed that Naruto-chan never joins team dinners unless you or Shikamaru-kun are around." He gestured towards Kakashi, "and yet Naruto-chan isn't Shikamaru's wife right now." A low growl left Kakashi's lips. Naruto was his wife. It was too late for her to choose someone else. "Kakashi." Guy remained calm. He knew he was treading on dangerous grounds, but he had to say what was on his chest. "Everybody knows Naruto loves the village. She's loyal. Yet she was willing to leave. However, she chose to stay and stayed for you. I don't know how obvious you can get." Flashback end. Kakashi waited for Naruto to finish. He greeted her with a nod as she dusted her knees off. Once she was close enough, Kakashi grabbed her waist and pulled her close. Burying his head in her hair, Kakashi mumbled, "Thank you." He didn't say anything else as she hugged him back tightly. They held each other in silence for a few more minutes before Kakashi pulled away. "So, what do you think of the place?" Naruto respected his wishes to not speak about his parents and said, "It's way better than all the houses I saw combined. There's so much space and it's quiet." "Then I believe this is a yes to moving in together." Kakashi smiled when Naruto nodded enthusiastically. "Mama, give me a couple of weeks to get this place together and it'll be livable." He held up his hand before she could interrupt him. "I'll handle the renovation costs." He knew she wouldn't be happy not helping, so he offered, "And you can replace the furniture." "How does that sound?" "Great. What size bed do you want for your room?" "I was thinking of a queen for my room." Naruto started a rough list in her head of the big furniture that'll need replacing. Dismissing her clones, she could roughly estimate how many items she needed. "I'll focus on the rooms we'll mostly use, like the dining and living room." "Of course, I'll have mine, and then your room at least has beds before we move in." Kakashi tilted his head. It sounded to him like they weren't going to share a bed. Seeing her enthused chatter, Kakashi didn't make a comment about it, and he didn't intend on sleeping alone for much longer. Hearing a bird caw above them, Naruto sighed as she recognized it was from Jiraiya. "I still have a couple of cases to wrap up before we can go on holiday. Before you go, I'll key your chakra into the gate so you can come and go as you please." Kakashi showed Naruto the steps and asks her, "How long will you be?" It might be all night. I put off work yesterday for obvious reasons." Kakashi's quietness made her nervous. "I'll definitely finish it all before we leave." "Naruto," Kakashi spoke softly, approaching her carefully as he felt his instincts run wild. "I can't be away from you for too long until we consummate our marriage. I'll come to pick you up when you're done and we'll go home." Naruto gulped. Although he looked friendly and aloof, there was something in the air that told her to be careful or she wouldn't be able to go to work today. "I need clothes," she mumbled under her breath. "I'll pack your bags." Kakashi was more than happy to pack another overnight bag. He wondered how she'd react if he packed all her clothes and brought them over to his apartment. The blonde might throttle him. "No, I don't care that we're married, but it's only been a day and you're not packing my underwear." Naruto was firm. She wasn't ready to have Kakashi go through her underwear drawer and pick which pair to wear. The thought alone almost made her nose leak. Kakashi felt his chest rumble, but he was able to keep his growl at bay. Then I'll pack an overnight bag and stay at yours. Kakashi scrapped his plan to steal her clothes, but he honestly didn't believe he would last one night without her sleeping nearby. I'll pick you up at 8. You don't even know where I'm working. Don't worry, I'll find you. Kakashi raised her hand to his unmasked lips and gently kissed her knuckles. I'll see you later. Kakashi left to grab a quick mission to distract himself from clinging to his wife. Entering the mission room, he withheld a groan seeing Tsunade and greeted her politely. Any nearby C or B rank missions that can be done in a day? Tsunade arched her brow at his request. He never asked for specific missions before and saw this as a good thing. The man had been overworking himself over the past year. Grabbing a nearby B rank mission was simple enough but classified as an escort B rank due to the valuability of the item. This one shouldn't take you long if you run. She tossed it at him. Tsunade wanted to ask how he was but refrained with all the shinobi in the room. Kakashi nodded. He could finish it within a few hours and perhaps take on another mission that was within the village. Do you have another mission on the way? Or something within the village? Now Tsunade was more curious about his marriage. The man wanted to keep himself busy yet didn't want to stay out of the village for too long. She could see the unease on his face that no one else wouldn't notice unless they had seen Kakashi grow up or knew his father's quirks well. The man was impatient. Tsunade chuckled and wanted to laugh harder when Kakashi openly glared at her. Grabbing a C rank mission, she threw it towards Kakashi. Go negotiate with the blacksmith in the same village. Konoha needs a steady supply of the items listed there. Kakashi bowed before heading home to pack a few more items, including sealing away his overnight bag. Summoning Pakun, he ordered the pug to find Naruto that he would be away on a mission but would return on time to pick her up. A few hours later with Naruto. Naruto could be found in a dimly lit room surrounded by at least a dozen other of her clones. Each Naruto shifted through paperwork and organizing stacks of paper, yet none of them seemed to be burdened or stressed by the overload of information. We'd get through this quicker if there wasn't so much bullshit written in these reports to get to the good stuff, one of the clones complained, handing over a shortened version of the report they just read to another clone to file away. Having gotten rid of all the filler. How's that code coming along, boss? My eyes feel like Sunagaker. It should be done either tomorrow or the next day. Then I can compile the information and send it out to our informants. We're almost there and soon Arrow Sennin and I won't have to deal with all these extra fire starters. The real Naruto updated the clones as they cheered in delight. The clone in charge of destroying the useless papers looked around the room. This place doesn't have windows. It's creepy being down here. The original Naruto agreed. Looking around, the candlelit room felt grim. You would think they were deep underground, but it was far from the truth. In fact, they were in a hidden room deep within the Hokage monument. Behind Nadime's head to be exact. Naruto had no idea how Jiraiya convinced Hiruzen to allow him to use this room, but it was secure. They all returned to their work. The sound of paper shuffling with the occasional shredding noise and deep sigh from the original. This is how they were working for the past few weeks, and now they had a productive rhythm. You could hear soft snoring coming from Naruto's lap. It was Pakun, who decided to stay with the blonde after delivering his message. The occasional rubs from Naruto were a bonus when she stroked him to calm her frustrations. Naruto sighed, throwing her pen down as she glared at the almost complete code. It was difficult for her to create a code that would be easy for Jiraiya's informants to learn through a book, but also hard enough that the enemies would struggle to crack it. That's why Naruto opted to create 2 books. One was to teach the code, which was set to be destroyed once the user mastered it, and the second was the key written completely in the code. The key was in the form of a riddle. An extra layer of protection. From then on, it would have to be taught from person to person. Pup. Pakun stretched on the blonde's lap with a yawn. It's time to go. I'm almost done. You've got 5 minutes before Kakashi finds his way in here. I'm sure Tsunade-sama wouldn't like her best Junin thrown into prison for breaking into a forbidden area. Naruto was quick on her feet, dismissing her clones, and ran towards the entrance with Pakun in her arms while being bombarded with hours of memories. Naruto groaned, almost tripping over and passing out from the onslaught. Normally she would dismiss one in 10-minute intervals. However, in her panic, she cancelled the jutsu. Kakashi, although her husband, there were shinobi laws set in stone and Naruto didn't want to lose her husband so soon. Hell, Naruto bet if the council knew of her marriage and with Kakashi thrown in prison they would annul her marriage. Not only would it drive Kakashi insane but it would also kill her in every aspect except physically. Running through the stone corridors, Naruto flew through the exit and leapt out of the Nadime's nostrils. She landed on the pathway just below the heads, and just as she stood straight Naruto felt arms wrapped around her waist and a strong weight at her back. Taking in a deep breath of fresh air, Naruto felt Kakashi's head nuzzle into her shoulder and asked, "I take it I made it outside on time." Just on time, Kakashi felt his erratic behavior start to calm down, but it wasn't enough. His fingers dug into Naruto's waist as he took in her scent. He had hoped the missions would provide enough of a distraction for him, but he could feel the urge to sink his claws into his wife every time he put distance between them. Kakashi wasn't sure how he negotiated the contract and he gave the bare minimum debrief to Tsunade before finding Naruto. He knew the laws but the itching was growing. It was like being dehydrated yet the puddle of cool fresh water was always out of arm's reach. He wanted his wife so desperately. How badly he wanted to enter the forbidden section to see her. Kakashi could care less about the hidden Anbu watching his every move, and they were bound by their organization to keep quiet, so he wasn't worried about their loose lips. A dangerous growl left his lips, making the Anbu tense around the duo. Naruto knew what Kakashi was thinking about. Leave them alone. They won't say anything. I could stab Jiraiya here and they would be sworn to secrecy. The hold Kakashi had on her wasn't uncomfortable, but it was rather restricting that Pakun decided it was best for him to return. Let's go home. Kakashi didn't have to be told twice as he sunshined himself and his wife outside of Naruto's apartment. With a flick of his wrist, he picked her lock and pulled them into her place. Kakashi, Naruto groaned, in shock at his actions. Kakashi didn't let his wife even take her shoes off when he pulled her towards him. Before he could pull his mask down and kiss her, Naruto was quick to cover her lips with her hands. A small snarl touched Kakashi's lips, but that didn't stop him from trying to nudge her hands away with his chin. Naruto, he groaned, please, I need your help. Even while being embraced in the dark, Naruto could see the desire to be with her in Kakashi's eyes. Keeping her hands firmly in place, Naruto replied, before I let you kiss me I think you need to tell me more about your clan. I need to know what to expect. I want this to be a real marriage like you Kakashi, but I feel like this is going too quickly. Naruto swallowed her anxiety and steeled her resolve. Doing her best not to give in to his soft peppering kisses, she continued, I want to know that what you're doing is because there are feelings there. Not because our bond is pushing your actions. Naruto gulped, seeing Kakashi's eye darken and his chest rumbled against hers. My dear wife, Kakashi's voice was low. Reluctantly, he pulled back on his affection and Naruto must have known he wouldn't attempt to kiss her as she removed her hands. He held her face gently and traced her soft cheeks. I will tell you again and however many times you need. I didn't make the decision to accept your proposal on a whim. I've met many people in my time and until yesterday, I was still single and unmarried. I'm very sure that if I didn't have an inkling of a liking for you we wouldn't be here today. Naruto stared into his eye and covered his hands with her own. I like you too. I've admired you for years. Her breath was taken away when he smiled and his dimple made its appearance. The soft glow of the moon suited Kakashi. Good, he hummed, taking off his hiate but keeping his scarred eye closed. His hair fell over his face, adding to his charm. Although his instincts urged him to ravage her. Instead, He led her towards the couch and pulled her to sit on his lap. This time, he was the one looking up at her. Her blue eyes seemed to glow as he held her hands. The moment I bound myself to you, I will feel the urge to consummate our marriage. I won't do that until you're comfortable. Naruto nodded. I've been told this innate feel can be suppressed for up to 3 months. Naruto couldn't help but giggle. I don't think you'll last 3 months, she gasped when Kakashi's hands slid up her thighs and gripped her firmly. No, I don't think so either. Kakashi sighed, leaning his head on Naruto's chest. I won't ever pressure you for, Naruto. I will never do that to you. I believe with you bonding with me, my senses have been heightened, having access to your emotions. It makes me happy. Is there any way I can help? Naruto allowed her intrusive thoughts win and ran her fingers through Kakashi's thick hair. Kakashi moaned. The firm pressure from Naruto's head massage was a feeling he wasn't expecting to like. I need to stay near you. I don't think I can spend the night away from you. I need to know that you're here. Well, we are going to move in together once the house is done. My place is a bit bigger than yours and I can arrange my room to have futons instead of my bed. That bed needs to be dumped anyway. I can seal your items away until the house is done too.